Recording in progress.
All right, so we are recording the call and it is at the top of the hour. So we want to welcome you to the webinar from Hobby to Hustle. I'm Steffanie Rivers. I'm the proprietor of TCB Drones Academy. And we're going to go ahead and get started because you know what? That's one of the things I like to do is get started. I respect your time and thank you for being on time. We are at capacity, so it's likely that a number of people will not be able to get on the call. So you did a good thing by showing up early, and we'll go from there. We are going to be answering questions as we at the end of the webinar, and we also have some prizes or gifts that we're going to give out, as well as a scholarship to the drone pilot prep course that we're going to talk to you about at the end. So stay tuned. Now I'm going to share my screen. And so if there's ever a chance that you're not hearing me or seeing what I'm sharing, let me know. And as we go, you can put your questions in the chat. So down at the bottom of the screen, it says chat. You click on that and don't necessarily send it to everyone, but send it to me, the presenter, so that when I am ready to answer your questions at the end, then I will know I won't miss anybody's questions. But I hope to answer your questions as we go along. So let me get ready to share my screen. All right, and so if you're not able to see it, then let me know, but it says that I am sharing, so you're probably seeing it. And this is just letting you know what's going on and why you're here today. I'm excited to have you here, and here's why, because I'm going to show you how to go from just flying a drone for fun to flying a drone for funds. And that's most important, especially in today's world. Essentially, everybody needs money to make ends meet. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So again, if this is your first time
We're not
learning.
seeing your screen.
All righty. Thank you for letting me know that. It says I'm screen sharing.
Now we can see it. Now we can see it.
Okay, so are you seeing the side, all the screens, or just the one
Yes,
screen?
we're seeing your whole thing. We're not seeing it in presentation mode. We're seeing all the future slides and the
All
thumbnail.
righty. Thank you. Let me see. Okay, it says slideshow. So I'm gonna put it in. Okay, are you seeing the screen now?
It's all black.
Huh. Okay. Well, again, thanks for letting me know that. Let me see. We've got 13 people waiting to get in, so I'm going to admit them, and I'm just gonna have to do it from here. Welcome to everyone who's joining the call. It is at capacity. And thank you, John, if that was you who told me that you were not seeing the screen. So I am going to, I'm muting everyone. But again, let me know. And then we can go from there. All right. So for some reason, when I try to show you the whole screen, it's not allowing me to just do that. You're not seeing what I'm showing. So I'm just going to show you like this, and we can go from there. And if you have any questions, let me know. But again, put your questions in the chat and to me, and then I will be able to answer those as we go along. So hopefully everybody's on the same page now, and people are continuing to come in. So occasionally I'm going to let people in. as they come on board. So please make sure that you are muted so that everyone can hear, because there are a lot of people. We don't want the background noise to stop us. So essentially, I left off with saying now is a great time to get involved in the drone industry. And here's why: because the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the Bureau of Labor and Statistics says that over the course of the next 10 years, the drone pilot industry, or the drone industry, is going to grow by more than 30%. So that is significant growth. And that's just not in Alabama, or just not in Texas, or just not in the United States. That's globally. So, and it's probably more globally because the Bureau is just for the United States. So it's probably more global, more that's going to happen globally. And so this is an opportunity for you. If you're like me, you grew up in an area where you said to yourself, there's got to be more. I want to travel the world. I want to see different things. And so putting yourself in a position to be able to have be in an industry. Are you still seeing it now? You are. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you. So being in an industry that allows you to travel and see the world is important. It's important for your growth and for the income that you want to make. And so that's why I got into the drone industry. A lot of people ask me, so how did a Black woman, become a drone pilot? What got you into the business? So I'll get into that a little bit more, but essentially, if this is your first time learning about drones, I want to know about that. Or maybe some of you that I've met along the way and invited you to the webinar, you have a drone, you have cousins or uncle, or, somebody in your family who has a drone, but you or they didn't know that in order to make money with that drone, you have to have a drone pilot's license according to the FAA. So what is a drone pilot's license? Well, essentially, it's like having a driver's license for your vehicle. You can't drive a car without going through some training to know the rules and regulations of the road to drive your car, your vehicle. It's the same for a drone. A drone is sharing the airspace with manned aircraft, with people on board manned aircraft. And so because of that, you, as a person who is piloting an unmanned aircraft, there are still some things that the FAA requires you to know, and that's called a Part 107 drone certification. And so that's why you have to have a license. If you're doing it as a hobby, then that's different. There's also still some rules that you need to know. But if you plan to charge people to make money, then the FAA requires you to pass a test and get your Part 107 drone pilot's license. So that's why it's important. So, if you might be getting away with it, your cousin, your uncle might be getting away with it. Now, of course, if you're just doing it for your family, then that's one thing. But if you're doing it for pay, then of course you need to have that drone certification. So stand by, and I am going to admit some more people. So again, I mentioned at the top that there's going to be a special giveaway towards the end. So everyone who stays until the end is eligible to win Black Wall Street paraphernalia and or half off on a scholarship that's worth nearly $250. So the winners will be announced at that time. So don't log off early. Don't log off early, okay? So a little bit about me. Again, I'm Steffanie Rivers, and I am proud to be the first Black woman to register a certified drone academy in the state of Texas. Now, recently I was featured and my company was featured in Black News, but I don't say that to impress you. I say that to impress upon you that the time is now. A lot of people, you're looking for, and we all are looking for a way to, what's the next big thing? And so you might have heard the term STEM. Science, technology, engineering, and math. So drone technology is under the T, in STEM. And so it's interesting that you sometimes you think, let me look at what's happening right now. But if you want to be ahead of the game, you have to look at what's happening, what's going to be big over the next 10 years. And so what's going to be the next, what are, they're working, what is the government working on? What is industry working on that's going to be a thing in the next 10 years? So that would be right now, that would be technology, that would be AI, that would be anything that is making processes smoother. And so that's why drone technology is so big right now. Remember, I think everybody in here in this chat, in this call, this webinar is over 5 years old. So that means you were here when the pandemic hit in 2020, right? And so here's what I realized in 2020, that they put people's jobs, they put our jobs into two categories. They said you're either an essential worker or you what? Or a non-essential worker. And so they said if your job is considered to be non-essential, you had to sit down and go home. You couldn't even go outside sometimes. You had to just, stay a few feet from everybody. All of these things that kept you from making the money that you probably were used to making and needed to make. And then there were the people who were considered to be essential workers. Now, at this time, I learned a lesson, and that was I never want for somebody to tell me how essential or non-essential I am in their lives. That stung for me. So let's put it in the chat. I'm going to go out and look at the chat. You tell me, when COVID hit, what industry were you in, and did you end up being a non-essential person, or did they consider your work to be non-essential? Let's see what we've got. I'm going to stop, and you were in accounting, essential, flight attendant, essential, oil and gas, non-essential. Okay. So insurance, essential. Okay. So architecture, I was an office manager, flight attendant, sales for Gold's Gym. Okay, that's something. Let me go to Gold's Gym in downtown Dallas, the Gold's Gym. I was a member, and at some point they closed it down because they were closing down, quote unquote, non-essential places. And Gold's Gym, downtown Dallas, Texas, never opened up after that because they couldn't withstand the three to 6 months that they had to close. So they closed that location down. And I'm sure a lot of other businesses had that same thing happen to them. And so it is in DJ music industry non-essential. So that's one of the things. And before before COVID, before the pandemic, all these industries, all these places were like bustling places. And so it just said to me, I need to put myself in a position to be the answer to somebody's problem. And so that's what led me to become a drone pilot, because I said, what is growing? What is going to be needed no matter what? What is going to be affecting other industries? And that was it, being a drone pilot. So it says, sorry to hear that, Brent. So yeah, we're talking to each other. So yeah. And I don't know about you, but I don't ever want anybody to define my value. I want to be able to define my value, not as a human being, but in the work environment and in as a career. And that's why I started my company in Texas in 2021, actually. And so I just wanted for us to share that with each other. So I'm going to go back to sharing my screen. So hopefully you guys can see that. So now here's why drones matter, because essentially drones are not toys. A lot of people, use them as toys, but they're not toys. They are tools to streamline your standard procedures in different industries. So let's look at some of these industries. In fact, some of you are in these industries and can verify, can confirm that this is what's going on. Hold on, admitting someone. Okay, so the insurance industry. I also decided to get my Texas All Lines insurance adjuster license so that I can use my drone to process insurance claims. So a lot of companies are using insurance and using drones to simplify and to speed up the insurance claim process. So instead of you having to wait for someone to show up to your property with a ladder and get on your roof and do all these things that takes time, if the insurance company works with people who have drones, and a lot of them do work with people who have drones, then they can just show up, take the drone up, take the pictures, get the video, and be gone within 30 minutes, where it'll take someone over an hour to do that same job. And not to mention the manual labor and potential injuries that can happen with that in the insurance industry. Utility industry, when things happen, storms come through and the power lines are down, using a drone to take pictures or take information, data collection, and sending it to the utility company so they can see, what do we need to do to get this power back on, instead of waiting for somebody for days, because they've got to go around the county, or go around the area and with a truck and a bucket and get up there. They still have to get up and fix it, but the process for data collection is reduced. It is so much faster when you have a drone. If you know anybody who has a farm, they're now using drones to manage their crops. They don't have to walk the whole acreage that they have. They can now see, using a drone, taking it across the acres to see, what do I need to do? Do I need to water here? Is it time to Is it time to harvest here? What do we need to do? So those are just three. Insurance, emergency services, of course. When something happens, TCB Drones, we are partnered with a few organizations that help missing people to be reunited with their families. We take our drone up. We're for search and rescue missions when people are lost. And if they had on a red shirt or they had on a yellow hat, they had on white tennis shoes, you can take that drone up and cover 2 or 3 miles worth of land and see, do you see the white tennis shoes, the yellow hat, the red shirt, and in that area somewhere. And as a matter of fact, children have been found using drones in the woods where they got lost, and it helps save time and man hours, because you don't have to take so much time walking the 2 or 3 miles. You could take the drone up. Of course, safety and security with all the things going on in public spaces, whether it's the schoolyard or whether it's a public event, parades. When you have a third eye, a drone in the air that can create more visibility for the security staff and the perimeter of whatever it is, whether it's Disney World, whether it's your child's or grandchild's school, that's where drones are making a difference. And of course, hospitality. Most of us have seen, I'm sorry, I'm trying to multitask here. Most of us have seen, let me go back to, sorry. Okay, there we go. Most of us have been at a wedding or some type of family event where family reunion where somebody, our cousin, uncle, brother had a drone. But some people get paid to do that and they make good money doing. I've done weddings, of course, with using a drone as a part of a team. You got the photographer on the ground, you got the drone pilot covering the air. And so when you put that together and create memories for people, they're willing to pay for that, that view that they would not otherwise have had. A friend of mine does golfing events, special golfing events for his clientele. And so we partner with them to do that video as well. So there's different lanes that you can get in as a drone pilot. You just have to decide what works better for you. And here's what we are going to do. We will help you to decide what is the best road, the best niche for you as a drone pilot that you want to take. And so I'll remind you right now that we're halfway through, and we are going to, at the end of this webinar, we're going to do a giveaway of some Black Wall Street paraphernalia from Tulsa, Oklahoma, as well as we're going to offer someone a scholarship to our drone pilot course, prep course. So the opportunity, and as I mentioned before, in the next 15 or 20 years, this industry is going to grow, with or without you. The question becomes, do you want to grow with it? You can start out making $30 an hour, and that's just starting out. And if you've looked at Walmart lately and how they are reducing their employees, laying people off, but they're building up their drone delivery department. I forgot, they're calling them something, but essentially they're using if you are a drone pilot and you can help them to build that part of their process, then they've got room for you. If you are just, a cashier, working to register, then they are starting to reduce those employees, the number of employees they have, because the last time, I know some of us are not going to Walmart these days, but the last time you were there, or let's say the grocery store even, they might have one or two cashiers that you can go and meet, and a real person rings up your items, but then they have the self-checkout. So a lot of companies are going to the self-checkout because they don't have to pay for somebody to do it. They just have to have somebody, a technician standing by, or one individual, one employee standing by to help you when you need help, and instead of having 10 people doing the register. So you can make $1,000 to an extra $1,000 to $2,000 a month as a drone pilot in any of those industries that we just mentioned. So no degree required, just your training and your skill. And so let me ask you, what would you do with an extra $1,000 to $2,000 a month? Put it in the chat and tell me, what would you do with an extra $1,000 to $2,000 a month? You would save for college, London says. Shamika, student loans. Ari, vacation. Save and invest, says Gregory. Jacob says pay more bills. Victor says invest. Save for college and a car. So you've got plans for the extra money. So it's time for you to make it happen, because if you've already got a plan to spend the money, you got to come up with a plan to make the money so you can spend the money, or you can invest the money. And that's why we're here. Again, a lot of people, and I welcome the accolade that comes along with being the first Black woman to register a drone academy in Texas, but I don't want to be the only one. There's so much opportunity. You just have to be willing to step into that opportunity. And sure, there's always going to be challenges, but there's going to be challenges no matter what you do. So you might as well be the best you can be. And that's what it's all about, being the best you can be for yourself, for your family, so your kids can see, so your family members can see that you made a difference for yourself and possibly for your family members. And that's what it's all about. So Joan says, I see Central Texas has the highest pay for drone pilots. And so based on where you are, you're right. You can get paid more. I mean, with any industry, wherever you are, you might get paid more in a certain area. And that's the good thing about being a drone pilot. If you're willing to move around and travel, or you can stay where you are and, do it from there. But if you want the opportunity to move around or see something else, see the world, there are companies like utility companies that have, they don't just have power lines in Texas. They got power lines across the country. So they might need you to move somewhere for 6 months and help them to do that annual inspection for that amount of time. Or, just depends on what niche that you say that you want. Zipline is in Africa. So you said you'll move to Africa. And I would move to, in fact, in 2023, I went to Senegal to promote my company, TCB Drones. So we are still in communication with them about providing aerial services, drone services at the airport and the regional airports in Senegal. So, and that's a great opportunity if you're willing to go get it. So I'm going to jump back in to the call. So hopefully you're seeing this. All right. So who do we train? Well, a lot of people started out in the military and now retired, and they're looking for their next challenge. So we train military veterans. We train high school graduates and high school students. In fact, we are a subcontractor with Dallas ISD, the school district in Dallas, Texas, to train their juniors and seniors to be drone pilots, because some students are not, they've opted to not go to college for whatever reason. They need money now. There's school is not their thing, whatever it is. And so we teach them to have a marketable skill, because everybody needs a marketable skill out here. So we teach them to be drone pilots. We even teach people who just want a career change. They want to step into a growth field, and that's what it's all about. So we equip every student with their FAA Part 107 prep. We prepare you to take that test and for you to understand what is expected of you. It's not something that you can just walk off the street and pass, but with help, with understanding. That's like any test preparation. If you know what's on the test and you practice and you are more confident in your knowledge of what is going to be required, you can pass that test. And that's what we do. So if you know a student or a veteran who'd benefit from this training, put yes in the chat.
Excuse me, we can't see your screen.
You couldn't see that? Okay. All right, I'm going to go back. Thank you for letting me know. So Brent says yes. Shamika says yes. So we know people who can benefit from this. All right, I'm going to go back and let's see. All righty. You seeing it now? All right. All right, sis, participants can now see. So as I was saying before, these are the people that we work with. We work with anyone who sees that they need this marketable skill. And that's what we do. I want for everybody to have this opportunity to do whatever it is with it that you see for yourself in any of those industries. Because like with anything, you don't want to jump in and try to do everything, be everything to all people. You want to pick the best route for you based on whatever it is. Will help you decide what that is. And it could be where you live, what's happening in that area. It could be your prior experience. And that's not to say that being a drone pilot is the end of the road. It can be, and that's a great way for you to go, whether you are working with a company or you start your own company. But being a drone pilot can lead to you being a manned aircraft pilot, because believe it or not, some of the same information that you need to know as a helicopter pilot or a commercial airline pilot, it starts out, drone pilots have to know some of the same things, because again, you're sharing the same airspace. So it can lead to bigger things. And that's most important for you to know. There is job growth, career growth in this field. So here's what we offer. We give you the support that you need to be successful. Now, I just spoke with someone a couple of days ago who was excited about the opportunity to work with TCB drones, because he was about to go to Oregon, I think it was, and he lives in New York. He was about to go to Oregon, and he was going to pay $1,000 to this company that was going to spend 2 days on a crash course, giving him some information about what's going to be on the Part 107 FAA test, and then good luck, see ya. And so when he learned how we help you and how we're going to walk you through it, he was like, okay, he now is going to do his drone pilot prep course with TCB Drones Academy. So we give you step-by-step guidance, and our team walks you through every step of the way. And we even share with you the specific questions that are on the Part 107. That's the official name of the drone pilot test. The FAA drone pilot test is called the Part 107. So we give you everything, specific questions on the test, and our materials are actually, we try to mirror them. We use a map book because on the test, you're going to need to use a map book and find locations on the map that they are describing to you. So you're going to know how to read longitude and latitude and where different things are on the map. You're going to learn air, space, and what does that mean? Most major international airports are in B airspace, B class airspace. What does that mean? Can you fly in a B class airspace? If you have your certification, your Part 107 certification, and you get permission, you can. But if you're just a hobbyist trying to get some great video of a plane coming in, landing, and taking off, no, you will not be able to get that video legally. And if they catch you, because now every time you buy a drone, because drones have technology, a sensor. All the drones have a sensor in it, whereby if your drone is in the area where it's not supposed to be and you don't have permission, and they can now figure out whose drone it is, because you have to register your drone. They can figure that out, and you could be fined. And I'm sure you've seen videos of people who have been fined for being in certain areas or taking certain video and posting it, and they weren't supposed to be there. So if you do everything by the book, and you have people walking you through that book, then you are on the right track. And that's what it's all about. So you can be ready to test in 2 weeks after taking our drone pilot prep course. Now, some people, you don't have to do it that fast. Some people take our prep course and then they do their own practice to make sure that they have it down, and then they go from there. But we'll help you to register for the official test. So we actually give you the support that you need. And if support is something that you want, go ahead and type in the chat, yes, I want support. Because, one of the questions that you might, Sean B says remote ID. Thank you for that, Sean. Yes, your drone has the remote ID where they can pinpoint whose drone it is and where it is. And so if you're not supposed to be in that area, then they can figure out who you are. So some people are asking, I can just go to YouTube and look at some videos, and you're right. There's a lot of things that you can do if you don't want support, if you just want to go look at a video but if you want somebody, some people learn differently. Some people need that extra support and step-by-step training that will allow them to ask questions live and get their answers live. And if you're that type of person, then you're someone that we want to work with. And that's okay. Everything is not for everybody, but we know that our success rate, the number of people who take our course, drone pilot prep course, and then go on to take the Part 107 test within 60 days of taking our prep course, we have 91% success rate. So that's important. We don't just throw you out there and then say, okay, good luck, because that's not how I would want somebody to treat me, especially I just want somebody to be there with me and see me through it. And then after I get the certification, okay, now what? Now we help you to figure out what is the best niche for you. So be sure, because it's almost time for us to go to the questions. Be sure to put your questions in the chat, and I will get to those momentarily. I'm trying to go back to sharing my screen. Okay. Let's see. So what you'll receive from us is, once you complete the Part 107 prep curriculum, because it is our curriculum that, based on our knowledge and the test, the FAA, what we give to you is that is everything that you'll need, in addition to you studying on your own. Or some people feel like, okay, I got it, but we give you tests throughout the prep course, so that to test your knowledge, to make sure that you're getting all the different modules. We have them in a certain number of modules that go over everything. We help you to register for the test. And that's essentially all over the country. The FAA has testing centers. And so you put in your zip code and you say, okay, I want to find a testing center within 20 miles of my zip code, or within 10 miles of my zip code. And then they'll tell you where that testing center is. And then we go on, you find out what days do you want to take the test. And it's good for me to have a deadline for myself. I don't know what works better for you, but to have a deadline so that I can say, okay, if I know I'm going to take the test in 20 days, then I'm going to make sure that I practice and get and get ready. If I just do it indefinitely, then, lots of things happen that's going to push that further and further back. So just making this a priority is important. And again, we do live instruction for the lessons. We record the lessons. So if there's a day that you are unable to come in live and take the course with the rest of the class, then it'll be recorded, and the recordings will be available to those who have registered for the class. And so, of course, the bonus is the industry guidance to help you choose your niche. So here's what we're doing. As I said before, some companies are charging more than $1,000, and then they're doing a crash course and then wishing you the best. Our enrollment details: today, we're offering our drone pilot prep course for $497. And of course, that's going to be a tax added to that, but you'll receive a Stripe payment link by email after this webinar. And there will be flexible payments using Klarna and Afterpay if you've used those before, or you can just pay in full. But if you want the payment link sent directly to you, type pilot in the chat and we'll make sure you get that directly to you. So after July 1st, it's going to be $997 for the same course. So the regular price is $997. If you sign up today up until the end of June, it'll be $497. So what's next? The class is scheduled for July 22nd and 23rd and 24th. We're doing it in the PM hours, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Central Time. And in those 3 days is where we're going to cover everything that we need for you to know so that you can feel like you are comfortable knowing what's on the Part 107 test that's going to cover weather, how to read weather reports, how to read NOTAMs, how to file lances, requests to fly in different areas, how to read maps, how to understand airspace, where you can fly, how high you can fly, and of course the general rules and regulations of how old do you have to be to get your drone pilot's license, where you can fly. Can you fly over people? Can you fly over vehicles? Can you, be in your downtown area? Can you be in a national park? These are some of the general rules and regulations that we cover. Weight and balance, how weather affects your drone. And so understanding why that's important. So these are some of the things that we will go over with you. So again, this is a male-dominated industry. It's we are underrepresented. Black and brown people are underrepresented. Women are underrepresented. We're not here to be the first and only. We want to open the door for you and others. So if you've been looking for a sign, this is it. We want to fly together, and we want to help you to break down the door and the barriers of the drone pilot industry. And especially if you are looking for, it can be a second stream of income, or it can be your main income. You can make it what you want. So I'm going to stop sharing. Let's see. Okay, so I guess we'll go into the questions, and if there are any more questions, I guess you can put, okay, let me go back. Okay, so I saw a question that disappeared, and I'm sure it's because, let me see if I can go back to it. Alrighty. So it says, are you aware that there's a proposed Texas law that says homeowners can shoot down drones? And then it went away again. I'm trying to go back to it. Okay, so in essence, the question was, am I aware that there's a law that's proposed in Texas where homeowners can shoot down drones? And of course, I keep up with, try to anyway, the latest in what's going on with legislation as it pertains to drones. So I am aware of that. It's not just in Texas, it's all over the country. And so that is another reason why well, let me finish what I was saying. That's another reason why it's important to know the law and to make sure that you are abiding by it, and that you present yourself when you're out and about and you're doing work. When I have a contract, when my company has a contract, because we not only teach people to be drone pilots, we actually do the work. We have contracts and we go out and we teach, have drone lessons, or I worked with the city of 𝐾𝐿 to do erosion control along the lakes, the streams in 𝐾𝐿, Texas. And so essentially you present yourself in a way where they know that you're officially are supposed to be there. Now, so you don't just, show up with a drone and put it up and you don't say anything. Nobody knows who you are. And they're like, well, what is this person doing? Are they taking pictures? And nobody should be shooting at anyone or anything without knowing what the heck is going on. But there's a protocol. So you have on, certain equipment, your vest, your protective gear vest, so people can see that you're working in some capacity. You might even have something from the city or the organization that you are there, that you're being paid, that is paying you to do the work. You have a vehicle that has your business information on the side. You might have an escort from the city or the county of who you're working with, that they might have put out a communication to the residents in the area that say, this person, or we have an organization that's coming through that's going to be doing work for us. So be aware of that. You might knock on the door of the residents in that community as before you put the drone up and say, hey, just want to let you know we're here on behalf of the city. So there's a process for it that will keep you from having any issues that might lead that you might think are going to be harmful. And of course, there's different ways to handle it, but those are some of the ways that you would handle that. So let's see. What is included in the 497 enrollment details? For the 497, you're going to get 3 days worth of FAA Part 107 test preparation that goes over the different categories that the FAA is going to want you to know when you take the test. You're also going to get live feedback. So you're going to be able to answer questions and ask questions, and I'm going to answer them. You also are going to get materials. We're going to provide you with text, let's say textbooks, a map book. We're going to give you tests, real tests that simulate the real test process so that you can understand what to expect when you get to the testing center, because it's not just going to be you in there, but there could be somebody else taking another test or some, that they are studying for, that's not a part of what you're doing. That's not a drone pilot test. So these testing sites, they are available to whomever is needing to take a government test. And so you'll be in there with different people. Can you walk in there with your phone? No, you can't walk in there with your phone. They want you to have your phone off. In fact, all glasses, they give you everything that you need. So no hats, no glasses, no phones. You can't take any of that in the testing center with you. You put it in a bag and they put it over to the side. And when you're finished, so we teach you all these things so you don't show up and not understand what is expected of you. So okay, so it's no problem. So she's saying, I wasn't intending for you to share the proposed law question with the group. Oh, so you just wanted me to know that. Oh yeah. And of course, hopefully, nobody, hopefully I answered the question, even though again, my intent too is to not make you nervous about this, because there's nothing to be, nervous about. But if you go about things in a certain way, if you present yourself in a certain way, then you're less likely to have a problem. And that's in life in general. So that hopefully I answered that question for you as far as the proposed legislation. Some people in the suburbs, okay, I am trying to answer the question. Let me see. Tell us who you are. And okay. You can hear me. All right. I am trying to make sure Are they taking prescription glasses too? Well, I think they're taking sunglasses. Now, you know how somebody can have something like your glasses can actually be connected to something else. They just want to make sure that you don't have some type of Wi-Fi connection in your glasses. So that's the point of them taking all this extra stuff that you might take in with you. Can the program help with schooling and scholarships? So be more specific. Can the program help with scholarships? We are at the end of this class and at the end of this webinar in the next 6 or 7 minutes, we're going to do two things. We're going to give out some Black Wall Street paraphernalia, and we're also going to give $250. So basically half off of one of those for someone who signs up today. So that's what we're doing. If I did not answer your question, go ahead and put it in right now while I am looking at the chat, because I don't want anyone to feel like I did not answer their question. And you can always text, email me. I'm going to put in my email address. So you can also email me if I didn't get to your question. Just trying to make sure I've covered everyone, all the questions. So we're about to give away. We're going to start with the Black Wall Street paraphernalia, and I am going to run and get it. I did not bring it with me. I mean, I have it. I just don't have it close in hand. So give me a minute. I'm going to turn off my video and
Hi,
I'm going to
Stephanie.
run. Yes.
All right, sorry. I was trying to type my question, and I just decided to ask it in case you weren't looking at the comments anymore. Is taking or registering for the course required to get consultation on areas of interest?
No. If again, some of you might feel like you don't need the prep course, or you might have your certification and you just need the consultation on the niche and what works for you. I can.
And that's it. Sorry, yeah, and full disclosure, I am already certified.
Okay, so then email me and then we can talk to you about how we can help you to figure out how to go from here.
Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you.
You're welcome. So I'm going to put myself back on, take off my video, run in here and get this Black Wall Street gift stuff so you can see it, and then I'll be right back. I'll mute myself too. I'll be right back. 30 seconds. Okay, I'm back. Because I know some of y'all were counting. All right, so I have, and these are Black Wall Street caps. Those are the same. just some simple caps, but I think it's, you know, and I know it's inspiring. This one says 1921. If you're familiar with the Black Wall Street story, this is when the the attack on Black Wall Street happened in Tulsa, and they burned down the Black Wall Street neighborhood and their industry and all that they had built. And so they put 1921 on there. Black Wall Street. This is like a what's this called? Skull cap. So I'm gonna let you decide. Here's a pink one. I'll let you decide once you are the winner of that. Let me see what else I have. Then, so most of them are hats. Most of the same. This one is the a brown one. This is a blue one. So I'll let you decide what version you would like. So here's what we're gonna do. Everyone, thank you. You like that, huh? Everyone is eligible to win who's on right now. And I want you to choose a number between, let's see, since it's 30 people, 32 people, let's have everyone choose a number between 1 and 35. And the person who chooses the number, I'm going to do two numbers. The person who chooses the exact number first is the winner. So, okay, so hold on. I see a winner. Let me go back. Keep putting it in there. Okay. So I want to make sure I see one winner, and I'm just going back up so I can scroll back down and make sure of the first person. Okay, so Sandy is a winner and Jacob is a winner. I had chosen 15 and 30. So congratulations to Sandy and to Jacob. So here's what I want you to do, Sandy and Jacob, and thank you everybody for participating. I had chosen 15 and 30, and Sandy and Jacob were the first people to put in 15 and 30. So Jacob and Sandy, I'm going to put my email address in one more time, and I want you to email me so we can decide which caps you want. All righty. Now, this next one is going to be one person who's going to win the scholarship. So for the $497 between now and the end of June to sign up and register for our drone pilot prep course. If you are signing up today and you want to win this scholarship, I'm going to pick a number. We're going to do the same thing. It's going to only be one person, one number. So put in the chat a number between 1 and 50. If you plan to sign up today and you want this scholarship to go towards your drone pilot registration. So we're going to give Two more. One more minute, one more minute. All right, let me go back down. I like that, Kelly. You doing the Price is Right thing, where you doing it all the way different than what everybody else is doing. All right, so I'm gonna scroll back up through. And nobody got the number, but the closest person is, okay, the number I chose, because now we're, let me go and get these last two, because I'm going to say everybody stop now, because I'm about to let you know the closest person to the number. I'm trying to, I'll tell you the number. It's 40. Oh, okay, sorry. Okay, nobody else put in there because I'm about to choose. Oh no. Stop. Okay, the number is 45. So a couple of people put in 47. Hold on. 45, Alicia. Let me keep looking. No, D Jones was first with 45. I'm checking. Okay, 1103. Looking at, yeah. Okay, D Jones. Sorry, Alicia. D Jones put it in first. 45. So D Jones, I'm going to put that down. Congratulations to D Jones, who's going to win the scholarship if D signs up today. So got 6 new messages. Congratulations, exactly. Congratulations. So this, if you have any more questions and I did not get to them, please go ahead and email me those questions. And then, of course, to Jacob and Sandy, go ahead and email me so we can decide which hat that you want. And then we can, I'll get that ship that to you in the coming days. So thanks again for tuning in. And if you have any more questions, just let me know. We are moving forward. We want to move forward with you. So that's it. And we'll see you next time. Be safe and have a great week ahead.